The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello guys, welcome to the Yeastar webinar. So this is Chris from Yeastar support team. Now I'm testing my voice. So if you can hear me clearly, please give me some response in the question areas or chat areas. Thanks a lot. If you can hear my voice clear and can please give me some response. Thank you. So I can just continue to the course. Okay, so looks like it's fine, right? All right, so I'm going to get started. So, guys, welcome to the Yeastar webinar again, and good morning and good afternoon. So, this is a special course for senior engineers who want to learn some skills about troubleshooting, right? And this is the fourth month of this webinar, the YSCE preparation course, SIP Call Analyze. After today's webinar, we are going to just, there are no more this course, no more SIP Call Analyze. We will just record the webinar today and put it in our YouTube channel. So if you, after listening to this webinar, if you want to recommend this course to your colleague, to your friend, so please just let them know. They can just check the recording on this Yeastar technical channel, okay? And also, the YSCE preparation course is more about the basic about SIP, the basic about asterisks. So if you, after today's lesson, you feel it's quite easy for you, you can register for the troubleshooting course like SIP call 30-second hang up and issue diagnosed via system logs. Okay, so that's why I want you guys to know before we start today's lesson. And today's lesson, you can see the PowerPoint and or you call the slide. I have already put it in the handout areas, so you can download if you need it. Okay, so I'm going to start today's lesson. Okay, so let's get started. So as I say, what we will have today is we will talk about 5 main topics, right? So we will use logs on PBX as a starting point to explain what logs are, when do we need this log, how to get all this log, some related SIP knowledge, and at last we will introduce what tools we will use to read them. All right. So first we jump to the question number 1. So what is log? So basically log is a collection of information generated by the PBX during you are doing all kinds of operations like create an extension and try to register your IP phone, your soft phone to this extension and try to make calls, right? And also not only about the call, about the registration, also including some underlying function information like some debug messages like the dial plan for asterisk. All right, so basically this is what is log, the answer for this question. And we jump to question number 2, that is when we need this log. Sometimes you do some configurations on the PBX and everything looks normal, right? But when making calls, it doesn't take effect. For example, the extension or some of your SIP trunk can register on, or the call can't be made, and you don't know what's wrong. So that's the moment you need to capture, you need to download, and need to read all this log file because you want to figure out what happened and what can you change on PBX or on IP phones. All right, so this is the answer for when do we need them. So we jump to the question number 3, that is what kind of logs can we get from Yeastar devices? The answer is 5. we can get system log, we can get CLI live log, we can get PCAP trace file, we can get pop monitor stream file, and at last we have linkers client log for both desktop and your mobile version. All right, so today we just want to talk about PCAP file, right? You can see here the PCAP file. So this is not to say that the other logs are not important. Actually, each log is important and has their corresponding use scenarios. And in many cases, problem solving requires a collection of logs. So check this out. You can see, for example, for DTMF issue, obviously at least you need a PCAP trace file, and at least you need a pop monitor file at the same time, right? And that is the same for caller ID issue. And if it is for linkers audio issues, right, you need to get the PCAP log on PBX or on your linkers PC, and you also have to get the linkers client log on your mobile, right? So as I say here, for most situation, we need multiple logs for analyze, right? But you can also just take a screenshot of this format, this form, because that could help you just know what should you get for different kind of situations. All right. So the reason why I picked PCAP file today because it is strongly related to zip code flow. Because talking about the system log is more like the underlying functional, and about the CL live log is kind of like another format of system log, a live one. And for the pop monitor stream file, it is for some analog issues for like DTMF, like some analog signal. All right. So that's the reason why I picked PCAP trace file today, right? So what is PCAP files? So some of you guys might be familiar with PCAP file because we have a built-in tools, and a lot of you guys also use Wireshark in your support job or your daily job, right? But in case some of you don't know what it is, I will have a quick introduction. So PCAP files contains the completely signaling streams and the sound streams from the establishment to the end of a call. So you can see scenarios like one-way audios, like no audio, like 30-second drop, like extension registration failed, or like call can't be established. So this kind of issues are always you can always find the answers in the PCAP file. All right, so then I will show you how to get the PCAP files on PBX. All right, so this is quite easy. Things we have a built-in tools. So here you can see I logging as an admin here, and you can see this is a P series interface. So I will go to the maintenance. I will go to the troubleshooting, and here this is a capture tools. Some of guys might asking, what should I choose for the Ethernet interface? Should I choose any or should I choose LAN port? So if you just enable LAN port on your PBX, so you can just keep it on LAN. All right. But if you just enable one port and LAN port, and you are not sure where the call flow go through, you can just choose any, so you won't miss any important message and zip code flow. All right. So for IP address and for port number, I just want you guys to leave it blanket. So click start before you try to reproduce some program. All right. And then after you reproduce it, click stop and download. So basically that's where to get the PCAP file on PBX and how. All right. So we continue. And I guess you guys notice I'm keep talking about the call flow, talking about the signaling flow in the log, and all the things are presented in the form of SIP protocol. And I'm pretty sure you guys know about SIP, right? And so before we learn how to see the log, we will first explain the SIP registration and the SIP call flow, because you need to know what a correct registration and what a correct call flow looks like. Then when something go wrong, you can quickly find out where the differences lies. All right. So first we will go to the SIP registrations. The SIP registration flow is quite easy, so you can check this one. Just 4 step, all right. So on the left side, you can see this is my IP phone or your soft phone, and on the right side, this is our SIP PROSIC. This is our Yeastar PBX. All right. So when I click on registration button on the phone, so my phone on the left side will send a register request to the PBX. But the first time, this register request is not containing any credential. Credential means my IP phone is not going to send the password and some other credential information to the server. That means server is not able to verify that whether this IP phone is the legitimate one or a anonymous one. All right. So what the server will do is on the right side. All right. The server will give a key to the phone, and this key was containing in this 401 unauthorized. And at the same time, in this 401 unauthorized, the server, which is our PBX on the right side, will add one header, will add the www-authenticate in this 401 unauthorized. Then we will check this one in detail when we use an example of registration, and we will use Wireshark to open this PCAP file. Then you can see what has been added in this 401 unauthorized. All right. So as I say, in this 401 unauthorized, the PBX on the right side will add a key in this package, and this key is called nonce, N-O-N-C-E. All right. So remember that. And then when the phone on the left side, the IP phone on the left side receive this 401 unauthorized, the phone will calculate a response based on the nonce or based on the key the PBX giving. All right. So after it calculate and get a response, it will send this response with this second time register to the PBX. So we call this the register with authorization. All right. So first time without credentials, second time it will give a response, which is calculated based on the the key PBX give it. All right. So let's see. After that, the PBX will receive this register request from this IP phone. So when we want to register an IP phone to our PBX, the first step, we will create an extension on our PBX, right? And for the extension, there will be a user password for this specific extension. So the server, the PBX, can store this password of the extension. So after PBX receive this register with authorization, it will just compare the password and the password given from the IP phone to see whether they match or not. So if these two passwords are matched, the server will send 200 OK to the phone to tell that, okay, you're registered on my PBX, on me, and on a specific extension. All right. So basically, this is a SIP registration flow, quite easy, just 4 step. And for more detail, we will see in the later part. We will use Wireshark to open the PCAP files on registration flow. All right. So at this moment, do you guys have any questions or not? If you have any question, just ask me in the question area. All right. If not, or if everything is clear, everything is easy, you can just let me know so I can go to the next part. All right. 10 seconds for you guys to ask everything. All right, things is now any problems pops up, so I will continue. So after I introduce the SIP registration flow, next I will introduce the SIP call flow. But for the SIP call flow, it will be much more complicated. You can see a lot of new things here, right? So this is a super typical SIP call. We will consider a scenario with a SIP server involved. You can see in the middle, this is the SIP server, which is our PBX. And suppose a user called Alice on the left side dial another user called Bob on the right side. So the following things will happen in sequence. So first, Alice don't know the IP address of Bob, but she knows the IP address of the SIP server, right? So Alice will compose an invite request and send it to the PROSEC. The body of the invite request carries an SDP message. Remember SDP message. So SDP is short for Session Description Protocol. So in SDP, you will carry something about the codec, the IP address, and the port number. So all these things is going to negotiate where the RTP streams is going to send and going to receive. So just remember SDP in the first invite. All right. So the second thing is that the SIP server, will immediately respond with a 100 trying, and then forward the invite request to Bob on the right side. So as I say, the SIP server, which is our PBX, just do the forwarding job. Actually, for most of cases, for most of time, it won't change anything in this SIP package. So obviously, SDP in this invite and also SDP in this invite. All right, just remember that. All right, this is the first time I say about SCP. All right, so after that, the SIP server forward the invite to Bob. So then Bob, the phone of Bob start to ring at this moment, and then send 180 ringing to the SIP server, and the SIP server do the forwarding job and forward this information to Alice. And next step, 200 OK. So you see a 200 OK means Bob picks up his phone. All right, so his phone will send a 200 OK to the PBX. So the body of this 200 OK also contains an SDP message. All right, so remember, SDP in 200 OK, SDP in invite. All right, so that's what I want you guys to know. And after that, Alice received this 200 OK and give back an ACK to the SIP server, and SIP server forward to Bob. So you can see here. So at this point, the call has been established and both parties start sending their RTP streams. They talk for 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 5 minutes until one of these endpoint want to handle the call. So they will just send a buy to another site. You can see send a buy. All right. So after another site, which is Bob, received this buy, it will send back a 200 OK to say, okay, Alice, I know you want to hand up this call. Just let's end it. All right. So you can see another 200 OK here. But pay attention, this 200 OK is different from this 200 OK. SDP in this one, but not SDP in this one. Just remember. All right. So at this moment, do you have any questions? If yes, please ask. All right. Also, I will give a 20 seconds for you guys to ask anything. All right, nobody asked anything. All right, so at this moment, I want to launch a poll to make sure you all master all these basics, okay? So let's see, this is a question about SDP. All right, so please choose the one you think it is correct, and then I will tell you which one is the correct answer. All right. Okay, we will wait for another 20 seconds for the rest of you to finish this poll. I still see some of you guys don't finish this. Maybe you're running into some urgent problem. Doesn't matter. Okay, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, okay, we'll close this poll. So congratulations, all of you guys have choose the right answer, which is invite and 200. Okay, so I'm glad to see you guys all master this. All right. So we have already introduced what a sender registration flow and what a sender call flow looks like. All right. So next step, we will just use some some PCAP files to see what it looks like, and some headers, some parameters, some details. All right. So we'll start with a SIP registration one. So before I talking about how to see the PCAP files, I still want to ask you guys, is there any of you guys don't use Wireshark, or this is the first time you see this through a CD software? All right, looks like I still need to do some quick introduction to this software. So all right, so let's see for the Wireshark is personally I would divide this Wireshark this page into 4 parts. So part 1 is here. So this side. All right, so there you can see there are some options at the top, like some file edit, view, go, right? So for analyzing zip calls, the most commonly used option are telephony voice calls. This is the way to see zip call flow, and also with the telephony RTP, this is the entrance for you guys to check this out. All right, and also with the statistic the protocol hierarchy. All right, so this is some common options we will use in this part. So the middle areas you can see from this number to this bar. Okay, so it shows all the signaling informations in this PCAP file, and it was shot by Tom. All right, so each rows will shows the the protocol, the source and destination, and also the length and some detailed informations. Uh, all right, so when you select any of these rows, all right, so select any of this row, maybe TCP, or maybe I could use a filter here for the SIP. All right, so let's take this one as an example. All right, so if you choose a line here, you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 rows over there. So a Wireshark phrase the package information in the order of the OSI 7-layer model. So some of you might wonder, so what is a OSI 7-layer model? So I will show you. All right, so let's see. What is the OSI 7-layer model? All right, so on the right side, this is a picture of OSI 7-layer model. All right, so you can see from here, actually each rows are just matches one rows in this OSI model. You can see here. First, this one, the frame, you can see. So for the frames, you can see it is belongs to data link, right? Frames, and it tells you how much bytes have you captured for this SIP message. All right, and you can see jump to this. This is the Linux cookie capture. So this all the things that belongs to the data link line. All right. So you can see for this is a Internet Protocol version 4, which is IPv4. All right. So this line will tell you the source IP and the destination IP. So it belongs to network layer. You can see network. So for this, the user datagram protocols, it shows you the source port and destination port. So you can see this protocol belongs to transport layer, right? TCP, UDP here. And for the SIP call, we seldom see the protocols in the session layer and in presentation layer, because you can see this is something like sockets, something like SSH and SSL. All right. So because the SIP, the session initial protocol, it just belongs to application layer. So you can see just jump from transport layer to application layer here. All right. So you can see here, this one belongs to application layer, and you can see an extra line here, the SIP as a raw test. So what if I expand it? You can see there are some important headers here. Some of you guys might ask, how can I see this line? How can I see all these informations? This is quite easy. You have to click this one, the register line, and just right click it. And there is a option under protocol preference. This is the display raw task for SIP message. Okay, I tick it on so you can see this extra line. If I just untick it, you can't see anything. All right. So the meaning of this extra line is that you don't have to just open all this one by one. All right, because when you want to see some message, see some headers, see some parameters, you don't want to open this by several clicks. All right, if you just enable this display raw text for SIP message, it's quite easy for you guys because all the important informations are listed out here. All right. So this is a little trick for Wireshark. All right. So this is the third areas of Wireshark, and you can see also there are another area downstairs. All right. For most of times, it just contains a lot of letter and a lot of number which are hard to understand, right? But in some cases, this area is useful. We'll talk about that later. All right. So after get familiar with the Wireshark, all right, so we're going to see this SIP registration flow. As you see, I enter a SIP. All right, I enter SIP as a filter right there. And then you can see in this info, you can see some are options, some are 401, but because we just want to see the registration flow, so all right, I will just click a registration one. All right, any one of this is okay. And then I go to this, go down to here. I just use call ID to mark all this. All right, so I apply as a filter, select it. All right, so you can see this is a completely registration flow. You can see from here. All right, so what you can see is that the first sum, the registration, this is the registration package first sum. The length of it is just 609. But the second time of it, it was just expanding to A9. It's much bigger, right? So let's do a little comparison. So the first one here, you can see call ID, see sequence, contact, allow. All right. So nothing in it. The 401 will add a www.authenticate. So these are the information, and also with the key, which is the nonce I told you at the first part of today's webinar. All right. So after IP phone received this 401, what can we see in the next one? You can see under contact line. This is one more line here is told you, okay, my username is, my realm is, and the nonces and the URI and all this response. All right. So this is all the authenticate information which PBX needs to confirm this IP phone is legitimate or is an anonymous one. All right. So you can see after PBX received this second time regist, it will send back the 200 OK saying, okay, you have already registered on my extension 1008. All right. So this is the registration flow in Wireshark. All right. So then we go to the internal call one. So in this internal call PCAP, you are going to see what a call flow looks like. All right. So still we're doing the same way. All right. We are still enter SIP as the first filter. So this time, as you see here, I will compare this one. All right. You can still see a lot of SIP message like options like 200 OKs, but until you see the one, okay, you see the invite, right? You guys still remember the picture I showed you, the send the SIP call flow, right? Each of this SIP call flow will start with an invite. So we'll just use invite as a filters. So how to use invite as a filters? You can just click this line, and under the request line, this is a line named method invite. So by apply this one invite as a filter, you can see all the SIP call flow list out here. All right. So and after that, I will use the call ID to mark this one out. Select pick. All right. So you can see invite 401 ACK and start with another invite. 100 trying, 180 ringing, 200 OK, ACK buy, and 200 OK. So this is a completely SIP call flow between one IP phone and the PBX. All right. So since we just talked about some important informations in this, I'm going to talk more informations about these important SIP headers. All right. So you can see here in the SIP as a raw test. All right. You can see a lot of parameters here. So first line, the invite line. All right. So the invite line is we call it a request URI. All right. The request URI is the contact information of next hop in the call route. All right, so this is the information for invite line. And second, you can see this is the via line. Okay, so the via line indicates the path taken by the request so far and helps in routing the response back along the same path. Right? If the SIP invite path through multiple SIP process, in this situation, which it just passed through one PBX, one SIP process. But if in some cases it passed two, it passed three SIP process, you can see there will be three via lines here. All right. So in these examples, the response will be sent back to this IP and this port number. All right. So this is the via line. Okay, and then we go to the from line. The from line will indicates the contact information of the initiator of the SIP invite request. You can see here the 1009 start a call to 2001. All right. So that's the reason why you see here to SIP 2001. This is the call ID, caller ID, and the callee ID here. All right. So next line, the call ID lines. The call ID line are one of the most important lines in SIP message because you see I use call ID to mark one SIP call. Because call ID is a unique ID identifying the SIP call. So all messages containing this call ID will be assigned to the same SIP call. So that's the reason why I use call ID and I can get all this SIP call flow. All right. So the C sequence line, this is not important. We'll just ignore it. And for the contact line, the contact line is another important line because it's kind of like a name card. So it's kind of like, okay, so I'm talking to any of you, one of you guys, all right, and this course is good, and of me, of myself, and on this name card there is one line, the contact line. So in contact line, you can see the number of this extension and the IP and the part of this extension, which is going to tell you. So if you want to send me some response or give me some information. All right. So basically, this is the contact line, another important line here. And downstairs, you can see there are also user agents. This can show you the vendors of the IP phones or your soft phone. All right. So this one, the invite via from to call ID contact user agent. This is almost all the important lines here. All right. So as I say, in the invite and in 200 OK, we can also see STP, the session description protocol. All right. So from the invite to content length, This is something we call SIP. And from downstairs, from the V line to A line, we call them SDP. So SDP message are used to negotiate where the RTP streams, or you say where the voice are going to send and where to receive. All right. So from here, there are two really important lines: the C line and M line. So C means connect line. So here we'll show you the IP. All right. And for the M line, this is for media line. All right. So here, this is just a SIP call, not a video call. So if this is a video call, this is a video conference, you will see another M line just under M equal to audio. There will be another line M equal to video, and with some other parts, some other codec downstairs. All right. So for this M line, you can see this is a audio, just a voice call. And here you can see a 11890. So this is the part for RTP streams to receive and to sending out. All right. So when you combine this 192.168.9.126 with these port numbers, you can get a IP and a port number to send and receive your RTP streams. All right. It's on your IP phone. Okay, so after that, you can see there are several numbers, 908, 80, 101. So each of these numbers are representing one codec. For example, 9 representing for G722, and 0 representing for PCMU, and so on. You can see here. And but for the, as I say, there are not only invite carries out SDP message. 200 OK also carries SDP message. So we can see the 200 OK here. So you can see the codec has been narrowed down into only one option, because in the invite, actually the PBX or the IP phone will give up several options. Like I will tell you that I can speak English, I can speak Chinese, I can speak Spanish and some other language. But in this call, we have to choose one language, and we only use this language to communicate. All right. So in the invite, we give up several options, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But for 200 OK, these two SIP phones or two endpoints will decide which language they are going to use in this SIP call. So they narrow down the option to only one, which is PCMU here. All right. So that's I want you guys to know for these SIP headers and in this STP lines. So at this moment, do you have any questions, guys? All right, since you say you don't have any questions, so I think you all mastered this. So I will launch a really quick poll, all right, for you guys. So let's see. Just pay attention. In SDP, which line will decide the IP, not the part, all right? All right, 25 seconds more for you to choose the one you think is correct. All right, time's up. Okay, although only, all right, I see someone make, all right, what did I say just now? So the question is for which line will decide the IP, all right? So the one choose M line, check it again. Can you see any IP in M line? No, right? You can only see IPs in C line. All right. So the correct answer for this question is the first choose, C line. All right. So after this, I will launch another poll. Since you can just carry this one, I think this could be really easy for you guys. So this time, I want you guys to choose which line decides the part for media streams. This time is part, not IP. All right. Okay, so I see someone choose S equal to SDP data. So actually, I want you guys to choose the part for media streams, right? So you can also see that's the same. In this S line, can you see any port numbers? Right, you can't see any port numbers. You can't see any IP address, right? So it's quite clear if you want to seek for the port for media streams, you have to choose M line because you will see numbers after M equal to audio. That's the port numbers you wanted to get. All right, so just remember that. Okay, so after that, I'm going to, after just introducing all these SIP headers and this SDP message, I'm going to show you guys how to see the SIP call flow. So you can see the SIP call flow can be checked in two ways. The first way is I use the SIP. All right, I use SIP as the first filters, and I use the method invite as the second filters. And at last, I use a call ID to mark out one single SIP call. So this is way number one, but maybe it could be a little bit complicated and a little bit difficult. So you can also use use the telephone, use the VoIP calls. Because for most PCAP file is not that large. It's not like the PCAP file we get from SBC, and there will be tons of calls in this box. So it is quite difficult for you guys to choose the one you want to analyze. So if you open telephony web calls and there are just one, two, three, just really the number is really small. So you can use this one to filter the zip call. So for example, here I want to see all these two. I will just choose them, and then you can see the flow sequence, the color turns, right? So okay, so click flow sequence, then you can see the zip code flow right there. All right. So from the invite 401 ACK, invite 100 trying, 180 ringing, and the forwarding things, it is exactly the one I show you in the zip call flow, that Alice and Bob example. All right, but I want you guys to pay attention. You can see from the beginning, you can see we use 1516, the zip part, to establish this zip call 1516 and maybe 1516.2. The reason why you can see the 1562, maybe this endpoint has already changed the IP for SIP UDP and SIP TCP. All right. So you can see starting with 1516 and continue after 200 OK, they establish the call. All right. You can see the port number has changed. All right. It's no more 1516. You have changed to 11890, this side 10894, and even this side 11784 and 11016. So you see four different port number here. This four different port number is for RTP streams, right? Therefore RTP streams. So I just want you guys to remember the RTP and the SIP. They are using different port numbers. All right. So this is the way number two to list out and to check all this zip code flow. And then this is quite easy, right? So this is quite easy, but but it is not always that easy and that simple. Since sometimes Wireshark is a good tool, but it is not a perfect one, and sometimes Wireshark could be wrong. All right, so I'm going to open a PCAP files for you guys to see. Okay, this is wrong PCAP. All right, so as I told you, if you want to filter the SIP call, you can use the SIP as a filter. All right, so I enter SIP, nothing pops up. All right, so what if I check telephony VoIP calls? Okay, still nothing in there. But I'm pretty sure there should be some SIP message in these PCAP files. So at this moment, what should we do? So I will use this statistic, this protocol hierarchy right there. So there also follows the sequence of OSI 7-layer model. You can see from the frame to the Ethernet to the IP. This is the network layer, and UDP and TCP. These two are from transport layer. All right. So after you expanded this one, you see something quite strange. You can see a protocol named logical link control. So the name of logical link control is quite like it should belongs to the data link layer or physical layer, right? But I'm not sure about that. So what I will do at this moment, I will check the internal copy cap. All right, because this is a normal one, this is a standard one. All right, so I also open the protocol hierarchy. So I see the logical link control. This is where it's supposed to be. All right, the logical link control should be the should be in the same layer with the IPv4 and IPv6, which means the logical link control belongs to network layer. All right, but for this one, you can see the logical link control. The position is quite strange. It should not just be you know, this is a transport layer. So under either it belongs to the session layer or belongs to the application layer. All right. But obviously, that's not the right place for logical link control. All right. So the next step, what I will do is I open this ROM PCAP files and I will enter LLC. So LLC is short for logical link control. All right, so I can see this LLC, this message. So you can see there are a lot of data downstairs. This one, when you open this, when you see this area, all right, you can see there are something like you see like option, you see like via, you see like from, you see like contact. All right, so this is all the letter and numbers cannot be decoded correctly. All right, but by checking this box, you can see this is quite like a zip package. All right, so let's see whether it's a zip package or not. We see this one, we use zip. All right, so for these zip options, you can also see option via, from, to, contact. All right, so we go back to see this ROM PCAP, the same, right? You can see the option, you can see the via, you can see the from. All right, so now at this moment, I will say that maybe this LLC, this logical link control, is supposed to be a zip package. So at this moment, what I will do is I will right click this one, and then I will click decode as. And then here you can see the current protocol was chosen as LLC. So here I will enter SIP. All right, I want to see whether it will take effect or not. All right, I click OK. So you can see this time I enter LLC, nothing pops up. So what if I enter SIP again? All right, you can see all the LLC already decoded to SIP package and SIP message. You can see 200K alive options. All right, so All right. I'm not sure whether you guys meet these situations or not, but this is a really useful method. If you open a PCAP file, want to find some zip message, but there is nothing pops up, you can try this method. All right. Okay. So do you have any problems about this, guys? All right. So everything looks clear and everything is good. All right. So we go back to the internal PCAP files. Uh, Last part we just introduced how to filter zip call, and next we'll introduce how to filter the RTP streams. All right, so for RTP streams, there are also two different ways. The first way is check the VoIP calls, check the telephony, and you can see here, as I say, there are different paths for RTP streams. You can just write them, take them down. You can see 11890, 10894. So if something wrong, because maybe like the latency, maybe like the network just make this RTP streams from this zip phone to the PBX quite strange, and you want to check this RTP flow. All right, so you can just take down these two numbers, 11890 and 10894. All right, and then you open this telephony, open the RTP streams, and you'll find, okay, 11890, 10894, and click here to find the reversed one. All right, then you click this analyze. You can see some details. You can see like the delta, like the jitters, and even like the whether you can see some package loss or not. All right, and whether the sequence is right. And also you can see, you can just listen to these RTP streams by click this play streams. All right, then you can check whether there are some problems or not. All right, so this is way number one for you to find RTP streams. The way number two is by checking the port number in SDP. So basically, this is to check the SDP in invite and in 200 OK. All right, so the same way is zip, and then invite. So using invite as a method, apply as a filter. All right, so then the next step, call ID, selected. All right, so first we check the invite. Okay, so in invite we can see the port number is 11016. All right, and in 200 OK, the port number is 11784. All right, so for invite and for 200 OK, they were in their SDP, there will be a different part for different endpoints. For example, you can see the source of this invite is 8.200. This is the IP of PBX, and this one will be sent to 8.129. So the port numbers downstairs, this 11784, there, this one is actually the port number, the RTP port numbers on PBX. And in the 200 OK, you can see this is sent back from 8.1 to 9. Obviously, this is a zip endpoint. Maybe it is a soft phone or maybe it is an IP phone. So downstairs, you can see another port number. This is 11784. So this is the RTP port number for this IP, for these IP phones. All right. So by this way, you can also get the RTP port. All right, so the next step is to first clear this box, and then also RTP, and then all right, 11784, 11016, find the reverse, and follow the same steps, and you can analyze the RTP streams. All right, so basically this is two ways to filter RTP streams and play RTP streams. So at this moment, do you guys have any questions about the steps, about the details? All right. If you have any, just ask. All right. I still can see any questions from you, so maybe you all master this. So I will launch the last poll of today's webinar. All right, this is also a quite easy one. So do SIP and RTP use the same port to transfer data? Just yes or no. Okay, 10 more seconds for you guys to go. All right, I suppose all of you guys will choose the correct one, but still I see one of you guys choose yes. That means you think SIP and RTP are used the same port, right? But actually, we go back to the PCAP files. Maybe you all right. All right, we go to telephony. All right, we just use these pictures to see again. You can see for here. Sorry for click the wrong buttons. Okay, so you can see for here at the beginning, the SIP message. Okay, you can see the SIP invite. We're using 1516. All right, to sending out and to receive this SIP message and forward all this. And as I say, after the 200 OK with SDP and ACK, the call has been established and two endpoints are starting to sending RTP streams to each other. So you can see at this moment, these two different lines, the port change, right? From 1516 to 11890, and this side from 1516 to 10894. Okay, and maybe you guys have a question about, okay, so why are the port for RTP changing all the time? Not like SIP, always 1516, right? So because on PBX, we have a RTP port range, and in default it was from 10,000 to 12,000. So, which means when you start a SIP call, the PBX will generate a random RTP port number from this RTP port range. So that's the reason why each time you open this SIP call, this telephony, you can see a different port number because in different calls, they are using different RTP port number, changing all the time. All right, it's kind of like the DHCP. You will just see, okay, which port is available at this moment, and I will assign this SIP call with this specific RTP port number. All right, so that's I want you guys to know. Just remember, RTP and SIP are not using the same port number. All right, so basically that's what we have today. In today's lesson we have talked about uh, what is log and when do we need log and which kind of log can we get from PBX. And we also talk about the SIP knowledge about the SIP call flow, the SIP registration flow. And at last we use Wireshark to let you guys know how to filter SIP call and how to filter RTP streams. Basically that's what we have today. All right. So and I have noticed there are a lot of attendees here. And I also want you guys to know if you feel this course is quite easy, you can register for this troubleshooting course. Okay, this two troubleshooting course, the difficulty has been added up compared to YSCE preparation course. And I also want you guys to know this is the last time of YSCE preparation course. And after today, if you want to see the recording or if you want to send one your colleague and one of your friends to learn something from this, you can check the recording on the Yeastar Technical channel. All right, I will just upload these videos after today's webinar. And except for that, I also have a questions for you guys because we are going to have some new topic about webinars. So you can see here, I list out 4 different topics for the upcoming webinars. The topic 1 is security and architecture design on our IS, the remote access service. And topic 2 is some more cases, some more SIP call cases. And I will also use Wireshark to analyze it. And topic number 3 is the custom scripts, all right, to achieve some special function, all right. And topic number 4 is some troubleshooting and the structures on cloud PBX, both on S series and on P series. So among these 4 different topics, which of them interesting you most? Please give me some response in the question area. All right. So I can know in the next months which topic should we talk first. All right. All right. I see someone pick security. All right. Security is okay. Is there any other guys want to choose the course? You choose the topic you want to listen. And more about this, the security architecture and design on IIS. This is maybe not just about IIS. Maybe we're more about the LCS, the Linkers Cloud Service, and about the IAM, the remote management, and even about some security design on our PBX side. Maybe like allow country IP, maybe like auto defense and something else. This is what security is for. All right. So, is there any other guy want to give me some recommendation or give me some opinion? If not, I will end today's webinar. All right. So, last 10 seconds for you guys. Okay, I see cloud PBX structure and troubleshooting. All right. So, may I ask, you are still using S Cloud or using the brand new P Cloud at this moment? Or you need both of them? The troubleshooting skills on both P Cloud and S Cloud, because you know the structure has been slightly changed. All right, I got you. I will prepare for that. All right. So I got one for security. I got another one for cloud PBX. All right. So I guess that's all right. Okay. So since no any other guys want to just give some comments, I guess that's all. And I want to thank you for your time, and thank you for your time for attending this webinar, and I hope you can really learn something. So still the same, if you think it's quite easy, you can register for another webinar. All right. So thank you for your time and have a nice day. Goodbye all.